How is everybody doing? It's been a while. It has been a while. We have a lot to catch up on. You know, professionally, personally. Shit, I don't even remember the last time I actually made a video was. I think it was like before I was going to Hawaii. And it was like last year, like October or something. Yeah, it's been a while. So let's catch up. A couple of things. I'm actually going to be working out at a new gym today. So I'm still at Lifetime. However, I needed a change of pace, a change of environment. And I found a place out here called Fit Lab AZ. And essentially, it's like a bodybuilding community-focused gym. So you go in there, there's like very limited cardio equipment, but there's like a shitload of unique machines and stuff. Like stuff you don't find in normal gyms. Like stuff from like the 80s and 90s. That's just, it's very difficult to find in a commercial setting. So it's a nice boutique place. The community's been fantastic. I've been here for about a week now. And it's a suitable culture when you're trying to focus on bodybuilding as a whole. So getting back in the swing of things with that today, I have some legs. I've already hit legs once in this gym before, but I can honestly say like the equipment that I used over the last week, just with every body part, has been phenomenal. And I'm very excited to try out some of the stuff on a second go around because, you know, the first time I hit legs here, I was just kind of experimenting with everything, but I got a good idea of what I want to actually hit today. May try a couple of new machines, but overall, there's some stuff I want to replicate from the previous week now that I kind of have a good flow going on here. But the community's been very welcoming. It's been nice to kind of see other competitors. You know, and when you are a competitor, even if you're a low-level competitor, if you look like you compete, chances are people are going to come up and talk to you and ask you about it. I've already had a few people approach me and ask me like, hey, man, are you competing? You know, when's your competition? I'm like, man, I'm like just getting back in the swing of things, honestly. It's been like the first full month I've actually been back at it. So, but it's nice to just have that community around you, you know? And I would say like environment does have a significant influence on your psychology, and it has a significant influence on your progress, particularly when it comes to things like fitness too as well. So I like that. It's been nice having some good conversations here. Good environment. People are super friendly. It's got that nice dark appeal to it. It's like kind of contrasted with Lifetime, which feels like a showroom in there. But in here, it's kind of like more dark. And I don't know, it's more like, it just kind of fits the scene a little bit more, if you know what I'm saying. So excited to go in there and train legs today. I'm going to see how much I can film. They do usually have some pretty loud music going, but it is Sunday, so I'm hoping that things are a little bit calmed down, a little bit quieter. I like to touch on as much of my workout as I can, but ultimately, yeah, man, I'm excited. I just like to get back and, I don't know, doing this again. You know, it's like I miss it. You know, I've been so focused with work. You know, I got some changes going there too as well. I'm actually transferring Lifetimes. I'm at the North Scottsdale one currently right now, leading the team there. I'm actually going to be going to the Fashion Square one in Old Town Scottsdale, transferring over to that club and then helping build the team out there as well with some of the sales structures that I put in place over the past couple of years. That has made this club successful. So I'm going to be transferring over there. It's going to be a unique change. The demographics a little bit different. It's a lot younger crowd. It's a lot of business professionals still. However, it is still a little bit different in terms of the people. So it's about a 70% male audience there. The average age is about 38, opposed to the other gym at North Scottsdale, which is a pretty good even mix, about 50-50 men to women ratio, but it's a much older crowd. It's about like 45 to like 55 average age. So it'll be a little change of pace. I do know one guy out at the Old Town location, named Bryce. You know, we've already worked out a few times. I've known him for quite some time. So I'm interested to connect with him, see how the team's like out there, and overall just have an opportunity to like build and establish a bigger network. So I'm sure I'll be making some videos out there as well. The gym's beautiful. It's like a 4-story vertical format gym. So it's smaller. I'm going from the biggest club to the smallest club. However, it's just, it's newer and it's just different. So yeah, excited. Most of my clientele are going to be following me over there. And, what else is going on? Man, just life. I'm excited to get back into the scene of bodybuilding, excited to get caught up with everybody, and just excited to hit this leg day today. I just finished my pre-workout. In there, I had 2 scoops of pre-workout. I do a scoop of creatine and a scoop of electrolytes. So I just slam this down. I have a post-workout shake here that I'll be drinking afterwards. Hopefully it doesn't get too hot sitting in this car. But it is what it is. I'm going to run in there now. Super excited to hit this lift. The pre-workout's starting to hit me, so I'll see you when I'm in there. Oh. Just doing a little bit of foam rolling right here. Biggest thing I want to make sure is my glutes and my QLs, real deep in my back, are loose. Sometimes they tighten up, especially in the morning when I'm dehydrated. So I spend a little bit of time loosening it up. All right. I make a big point to focus on loosening my adductors and my hamstrings whenever I start training legs. The two muscles that I think pull on your lower back the most, and they limit your mobility in your hips. So I'll always start with this motion of pushing my legs to the inside to warm up the tightness on the inside of my legs here. And then I'll do some hamstring RDLs to stretch them out. That way I have better mobility between my lower back and my hips. Start off with a couple more sets here. A good cue I like to think about when I do this is not just bringing my knees in. I like to think about trying to internally rotate my knees. I'm trying to take my knee and I'm trying to rotate it into the pad. That's what's really going to help me feel that max squeeze coming to the inside here. And then go very slow on the way back. I'm not trying to max this machine out. I'm just trying to loosen these muscles. Probably have some questions. What the hell is this contraption right here? This is a very unique machine, and I have not actually seen one of these in anything outside of like Instagram bodybuilding videos. And this is meant to simulate like an RDL motion, almost like a stretch for your hamstrings. And it has a loading arm that goes against your back and this pad that pushes your hips back into extension. And it feels absolutely amazing. So what happens is when you unrack this thing right here, this back piece sits against your upper back, and then you're leaning forward and feeling a stretch in your hamstrings. And it has some adjustability to it, so you can change where this pad sits, how far it pushes you back, and then also this loading arm. So when we push backwards just like this, I'm making sure that the pad is actually above my knees. I don't want my knees to be against that pad, so we may need to make some adjustments. However, when I'm coming forward like this, the big thing is keeping your chest up high. You don't want to round forward because that'll put pressure into your lower back. So what I'll do is I'll just keep my chest high with this, keep my hands in place, and I go down until I feel the stretch in my hamstrings and calves. And I'm driving my heels back in, and I'm trying to keep my hamstrings loaded the entire time. And what we're trying to focus on too is I'm rotating my butt towards the ceiling as I'm doing this. And that's where I get that insane stretch into my hamstrings. And this is very unique because a lot of times you'll feel like lower hamstring stretching when you're doing RDLs, but this goes all the way up the ass. I can feel it from like the top of my calves all the way up to my butt. And just going very slow with it. The only thing about this machine is a pain in the ass to set up. Because if you don't get the pad low enough, you can't get a full range of motion. So what I'll do to try to tweak this is when I curl all the way underneath, I try to bring my knees to face the floor. So instead of just pulling my ankles down, I'm trying to like leverage my hips and pull my knees all the way till they're facing the floor. Now, obviously I can't get them completely you know, facing the floor, but I'm going to try my best to try to get the biggest squeeze I can. Another thing too, you got to keep your calves disengaged. So you have to keep your toes pointed up towards your knees. Otherwise you're going to get your calves that recruit and you'll feel less in your hamstring. So don't let the knees fall to the outside. Okay. You want to let them rotate in. Okay. Always. So it's going to expose the hamstrings to more stress. If you externally rotate them too much, you're going to bring your glutes active and it's going to turn off some of the hamstring muscle. So I keep the toes a little bit pointed to the inside here, pushing this flat as far as I can get it. Again, the big idea here, trying to get my knees to face down as far as I can. So when I curl in, I'm not stopping here. I'm going to try to get my knees all the way down. I'm also creating a little bit of counter leverage here, pushing myself back into the seat. Fuck. What a highly inappropriate and ineffective machine this is. This is like an abduction machine, like pushing your knees to the outside, but it also has this movement where the legs come up and down too. So it's kind of like you're getting this like angular tension. And it's interesting because that's actually how the glute is shaped. Especially some of the external rotational glutes, is it's kind of like on an angle in the back of your leg. So this one actually functions off that same angle. And man, that stretch coming back is fucking incredible. So you got to load plates to the back of this machine. It's kind of awkward at first when you first try it out. It's like you're getting a fucking pap smear when you're sitting on this thing. So I'm pulling this thing all the way closed. And like I said, it pushes down and out. So you need to make sure you're really anchored in this machine. There's some handles down here I'll grab. And man, this is fucking incredible glute squeeze. Oh. 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 Fuck, that is an incredible burn. And it doesn't take a lot of weight either. That's very surprising. I got like 245s on each side here. And I think it's highly due to the angle because a lot of the seats, they fix you in a 90 degrees. And when you're fixed in 90 degrees sometimes, and then the feet attachments bring your knees up higher, it creates a weird tension. But since you're kind of back on an angle and this moves on a downward slope, it feels much different than it being on like a 90 degree plane and you're just coming to the outsides. It doesn't feel like it's like bothering my hip joint at all. It feels like it's constantly in the glutes. What an incredible machine. I missed this one my whole life. This has to be the largest footprint of any calf machine I think I've ever seen. This machine is fucking enormous. As you can see, my body placed on this thing, the body of it extends all the way in front of me. And what's fascinating about this machine is the platform underneath your feet move instead of like the knee base where you're sitting and the seat moving itself. And I feel like it's an incredible stretch when it's forcing the calves up instead of you just having to focus on pushing down and moving and displacing the knees. It's a very hard feeling to explain, but the stretch and the squeeze on this is like something I've never felt for my calves. So it has a locking mechanism right here where you're going to push down with your feet and then you unlock it. And as you can see, the platform beneath my feet are moving and it's forcing my toes all the way up and it's really stretching out my calves. Now, if you have like really tight calves, this machine's going to help loosen up your ankle mobility significantly. And the squeeze on this is absolutely incredible. I literally have never felt anything like this before. I did a couple sets of this the other day and completely fucking blasted my calves for like 3 days. And it does not require a lot of weight. I cannot do much on this machine at all. And I think what I like most about this leg press is it's on a flat plane. You know, you're not on an angle. So you can really compress the fucking quad when you're doing this. And also it's individual. And it's kind of hard to find like leg presses that have individual arms on them. Most of them are kind of like a fixed platform. And it just feels strange when you're on a fixed platform and you're trying to do one leg at a time. So this is perfect because it allows me to split my hips, almost kind of emulating like a lunging motion, and really blast in front of my quads. I can get some good depth with that. The big thing that you don't want to do though is try to like pull some compression into the hips. So you don't want to try to bring your butt too far off the seat when you're pressing. It's going to pull weight into your upper glute, and it's going to compress the lower back, and it'll actually take stress away from your quads. So what we want to do with this is, you know, make sure you're keeping your butt fixed and flat, and all the stretch is coming from the knee bending, right? You want to stretch the front of this leg muscle right here by allowing your knee to bend as much as possible and not bend from your hip. So I think another good cue for this is making sure that your calves are loose. If they get really tight and bound up, you're going to have no ankle mobility when you're coming back for a press, and you're going to feel like tightness in your ankles and knees, and you're not going to get much in your quads. So fantastic movement. If you ever have a single leg press in a gym, definitely try it out. Oh. That is a wrap, boys and girls. That is a finished leg day for me. There's a couple things in there that were kind of difficult to film just due to the nature of the machine's position, and also the fact that there was like probably 6 people around me, and I was just trying to be courteous. But one was a standing leg press or standing squat machine, which is fantastic, by the way. If you guys have never tried something like that, like I used to squat on the Smith machine sometimes. I'm not real big into squatting. Mainly because it just doesn't feel like a good movement for me. But that machine felt fantastic. So that was a plus for me. I like that. The actual pad that goes on your shoulders has like the ability to rotate a little bit. So if you need to get more of like kind of like a back squat position, which means like you want to move forward a little bit and have the pad rest more on your back, or if like you want to kind of arc it up a little bit to kind of sit more into a pendulum, like you have the ability to like maneuver on the machine a little bit, and it works off of like a kind of like a J shape. You know, it works off like a pivot, and it feels very good. So if you want to get some depth in the quads or in the glutes, or if you want to focus on the quads, like it has a lot of variability to it. And then I did the 3-prong leg extension, which was very unique. I've never tried something with 3 loading mechanisms on it. Like it has like a bottom range, a mid range, and a top range. And that felt fantastic. I was just trying to figure out the machine, what felt best for me. So I literally put a plate on each one just because I wanted to see what felt good. And that was great. It was a lot better than I anticipated. I haven't tried like a plate loaded leg extension in a very long time. And those prime, it's like Prime fitness equipment. Fantastic. They design stuff very well. It's a US made company. There's not a lot of modern companies that I think make great equipment like they used to. Like that gym's full of like 80s and 90s equipment, like Nautilus and Atlantis equipment. And it's great. But finished with my leg day now. I got my shake right here. I have about 40 grams of whey in here. So 40 grams of protein worth of whey isolate. I have 100 grams of oats, and I have about 25 grams of raisins. And I'll have about 2 of these a day, mainly because I'm very mobile. I'm on my feet, and it's hard for me to eat 2 meals when I'm working throughout the day with clients. So I'll have these as kind of like meal replacement substitutes, and then I'll have 3 whole food meals throughout the day. So I'm at 5 meals right now. I'd like to change that. I want to remove one of the shakes, mainly because whey protein's good, but I mean, I just want to think about it from a common sense standpoint. Like you are what you eat. And I think there's better integrity proteins than whey protein. And ultimately, like I want to make sure I give my body the best sustainable nutrition for recovery. And the whey protein, having it twice a day, it's not what I prefer. So I'm going to try to find a substitute for that and get hopefully 4 whole food meals in 1 shake a day. That would be kind of ideal for me. See how my digestion kind of adjusts to that, because I'm very big on listening to my body's feedback when it comes to nutrition and training to make sure that things are actually working well for me. And right now I have a little bit of gas I'm dealing with, believe it or not. A little bit later in the day, and I think it's probably from the excessive whey protein and oats. Having 2 shakes a day, I think, is what's doing it for me. Again, that's why I want to change it. But this is a perfect example. You have to listen to your body. If it's telling you something's off, digestion is like the name of the game in bodybuilding. Like if you don't optimize on your digestion, you're not going to get the most out of your food. And if you don't get the most out of your food, well, you're obviously not going to recover that well. And on top of that, if you're causing any inflammation to the gut, that's going to cause systemic inflammation because the mesentery, which is like basically a big vascular network that surrounds both your intestines and also your stomach, that will actually suck up all of the, it's a big vascular network that will pull all the nutrients in and put them into circulation. And if you're creating a lot of inflammation there, that inflammation is going to the rest of your body. So I want to make sure I limit that as much as possible, because poor quality absorption and on top of that, creating inflammation is going to degrade my recovery significantly. So I want to make sure I control that as much as possible. Yeah, so I'm done for the day. I mean, this was a nice little welcome back video, I guess. I didn't have too much scenery change. You know, I wanted to keep it simple, mainly focus on the workout, exercise education, kind of give you a little bit of a life update, and then go from there. And we'll see where the rest of this video manifests. You know, I wanna continue to do this up until probably the next show, and we'll document that process for you as well. So that's all for this one, and I'll see you in the next one.